Can somebody tell me why this is not a penalty? Can somebody tell me why this is not a penalty to Egypt? No VAR check, nothing. When I tell you guys, the agenda is crazy. Had it been that it's Egyptian player that committed this foul, look at the way they will easily give penalty. They are so eager. It is so obvious. I am not surprised Infantino is no longer reliable.
Messi just has a way of making people completely lose it. His success at this point, facing Argentina, almost feels like a win-win for the other team. If you beat them, you get to say, "We just took down the defending world champions." That's a massive statement. But if you lose, some people instantly switch to saying Argentina is corrupt, claim FIFA rigged everything for Messi, and suddenly avoid talking about what actually happened on the football pitch. Those claims spread fast online, especially among casual fans who don't watch the full matches or pay attention to the details. This whole idea that FIFA was rigging the World Cup for Messi and Argentina didn't just appear overnight. It's been floating around ever since the 2022 World Cup. Early on, a lot of those comments came from some Ronaldo supporters, who I jokingly call the Portuguese Homelander fan base, as they struggled to accept Messi winning the biggest prize in football while also being one of the tournament's standout players. Ironically, it was the same trophy that many people once described as Ronaldo's biggest dream, before some fans started downplaying it after Messi finally lifted it, calling it just 7 games instead.
But World Cup, it's a dream. It's a dream.
It's a dream to win the World Cup. No, it's not a dream.
But World Cup, it's a dream.
The whole World Cup is rigged story is completely blown up. It's everywhere now. Open almost any social media app and you'll probably see posts claiming Argentina is corrupt, saying matches are fixed, or insisting FIFA is trying to hand Messi another World Cup. Those claims seem to spread faster every day. What's even wilder is who's sharing them. I'm seeing accounts that have barely ever talked about football suddenly posting that Argentina rigged the tournament. I'm even seeing people who used to praise Messi now calling him corrupt. It really feels like one of the biggest online smear campaigns football has seen in years, even though those claims remain unproven. And here's a question people rarely answer. If someone truly believes the tournament is already decided before a ball is kicked, why wouldn't they confidently bet on Argentina to win? If you were convinced the outcome was guaranteed, wouldn't you expect people to back that belief with their actions, instead of only posting about it online? Social media during this World Cup has started to feel less like football and more like non-stop political coverage. Every controversial moment gets clipped from a certain angle, pushed with a certain story, and shared again and again, until plenty of people stop questioning it and begin treating it like a confirmed fact.
I've never really believed... I know in Qatar a lot of people felt there was a lot of things going their way. I've never really believed in it, and I don't really believe in it if I'm being honest. But what I would say is some of the decisions they've had tonight, disgusting. Some of the fouls, they're not fouls. Like, they're not. And I do believe that if Egypt had scored that winner, they'd have gone back and given a penalty to Argentina. Because McAllister does touch his shirt.
A lot of that conversation really took off after Argentina's match against Algeria. Argentina won 3-0 in convincing fashion, and Messi grabbed all the headlines with an incredible hat-trick. But instead of focusing on those goals, much of the attention shifted to one challenge that quickly became a huge talking point online. Around the half-hour mark, Messi caught Algerian defender Aïssa Mandi on the lower leg during a challenge. After the match, the Algerian Football Federation submitted an official complaint to FIFA, arguing that Messi should have been sent off and claiming the officials gave special treatment to one of football's biggest stars. However, when people looked more closely at the replay, it appeared to tell a different story. While the challenge definitely looked reckless and was worthy of a yellow card, it didn't clearly reach the standard for serious foul play under the laws of the game. Messi went into the tackle at a fairly low speed, his studs were not driven forward with excessive force, and the challenge did not appear to involve the kind of brutality that usually leads to a straight red card. As Mandi stepped forward, his leg came down into the path of Messi's sliding boot, creating contact that looked much more dramatic at full speed than it did on the replay. That's an important difference. A reckless challenge can deserve a yellow card, but a red card is generally reserved for tackles that clearly endanger an opponent through excessive force or a dangerous lunge. Take another look at Kansas' challenge against Mexico. Since VAR cannot step in just to upgrade a missed yellow card, the on-field decision stayed the same. What's interesting is that referees have made several similar decisions throughout the tournament. For example, Ali Reza Jahanbakhsh's challenge on Trossard looked even heavier, leaving Trossard with a cut that caused his calf to bleed. Yet no yellow card was shown in that incident either. Hakimi stepped on Vinicius' ankle, and the referee didn't even give a foul. Then there was Cancer's scissor-style challenge on a Ghanaian player that never even led to a VAR review. Moments like these barely get the same level of attention. Yet whenever there's a controversial refereeing decision, plenty of people immediately bring Messi into the conversation. The focus often shifts away from the incident itself and turns into another debate about Messi and Argentina. Then came the match against Austria. Argentina secured a hard-fought 2-0 victory to book their place in the knockout rounds, but once again the result wasn't the main story afterward. Instead, the biggest debate centered on the build-up to Messi's opening goal. Austria manager Ralf Rangnick argued that it didn't appear to push, trip, or recklessly lunge at Schlager. Both players were battling for possession, and the Argentine used his body to shield the ball before continuing the move. Shoulder-to-shoulder physical battle is generally considered legal when it's done fairly. Just as importantly, the referee had a clear, unobstructed view of the incident and immediately decided it was a fair challenge. Because there wasn't an obvious and clear error, VAR had no reason under the protocol to step in. Some people may not like that decision, but disagreeing with a call isn't the same as proving it was wrong. Whether you're cheering against Messi, supporting Argentina's opponent, or simply frustrated by the result, the laws of the game still apply the same way. The complaints didn't stop there either. After Argentina's match against Cape Verde, another wave of criticism spread across social media. This time, people focused on three specific moments: the delayed whistle after a foul on Lionel Messi, the quick restart before Vizinha had fully organised his defensive wall, and the decision to add only 3 minutes of stoppage time at the end of extra time. However, each of those decisions was consistent with standard refereeing practice. The first complaint, the delayed whistle after Messi was fouled, was a classic example of the advantage rule in action. Instead of stopping play the instant the foul happened, the referee briefly allowed play to continue to see whether Argentina could benefit from the attacking opportunity before bringing the play back if needed. Once it became clear there was no real advantage for Argentina, the referee brought play back and awarded the free kick. That's exactly how officials are instructed to apply the advantage rule under the laws of the game. The second complaint centered on the quick free kick restart. But if you watch the match footage closely, you can clearly hear the referee blow the whistle, and it came only after Vizinha was standing in the middle of his goal, signaling that play could restart. After the whistle, Vizinha chose to keep adjusting both his position and the defensive wall. If the free kick had gone straight in, many would argue that responsibility would have fallen on the defending team rather than on the referee. A lot of the criticism about Messi taking the free kick so quickly seemed to come from people who may not have been familiar with how these situations are normally handled at the highest level of football. Others were accused by fans of applying different standards depending on which player or team was involved, making the debate even louder than the actual incident. Finally, there was the criticism about the 3 minutes of added time at the end of extra time. But when the referee blew the final whistle, those 3 minutes had already been played. Could more time have been added? Maybe. Referees have some discretion in those situations, but stopping the match at that point is not, by itself, evidence that anything was rigged. The conspiracy claims only grew louder in the round of 16. Trailing 2-0 with less than 25 minutes left, Argentina produced an incredible comeback to win 3-2. After the final whistle, several members of Egypt's team and coaching staff argued that the match had been officiated unfairly and suggested the decisions favoured Messi and Argentina. Those comments quickly spread across social media and sparked even more debate. Most of the controversy centred on two major moments. The first came in the 58th minute, when Mostafa Zizou thought he had scored, only for VAR to disallow the goal. The second was a late penalty appeal after Alexis McAllister appeared to grab Hamdi Fathi's shirt inside the penalty area. Both incidents immediately set off huge arguments online, with fans on every side debating whether the officials had made the right calls. The reaction from the final whistle, they strongly disagreed with the key decisions and made their frustration clear during their post-match comments. But when those incidents are compared with the laws of the game, many analysts argued that the officials applied the rules as intended. The disallowed goal came after VAR identified a foul by Marwan Attia at the very beginning of the counter-attack.
Egypt scored in this situation, but after an awful review, the referee cancelled the goal. So what happened here was that Egypt got the ball in their own half very far back and then started an attack. and this attack led to a goal. So when you look at a situation when Egypt got the ball, the Egyptian player accidentally stepped on the opponent's foot, and this is an offense. Then you need to look at the VAR protocol. It says that if an attacking team makes an offense in the build-up to the goal, VAR can intervene. And if you look at the situation after the offense, Egypt kept possession of the ball all the way until the goal was scored.
Before Egypt broke forward, Attia appeared to pull Lisandro Martinez's shirt and step on his foot while winning possession. Because Argentina never regained control of the ball after that challenge, the entire move was treated as one continuous attacking phase, which is exactly the type of sequence VAR is allowed to review. Some people may see the foul as a soft decision, but that doesn't automatically make it an incorrect one. Egypt's late penalty appeal was also turned down after Alexis Mac Allister briefly grabbed Hamdi Fathi's shirt during a crowded corner. The officials judged that the contact was minimal and did not clearly prevent Fathi from challenging for the ball. If you're going to call that a penalty, then you would have to consider giving one on almost every corner and set piece. There is constant physical battles happening inside the box during those situations, with players grabbing, holding, and fighting for position. Officials have to judge whether the contact actually affects the play, not just whether there was any contact at all. Then there were complaints about a challenge involving Salah, with some people saying it was the same situation as the Martinez incident. But the two moments were not identical.
I'm sorry, guys. I know everyone would like for this to fit the worldview that there's a conspiracy against small teams like Egypt and Austria in favor of big teams like Messi and Argentina, but that's just not the case here. Salah is dribbling towards goal. It takes a little bit of a loose touch. This shows too much of the ball to the defender from Argentina. Defender is going to poke the ball through legs, and he puts his foot down behind him. Salah's inertia, momentum takes him forward, and he is going to trip over the Argentinian player. That's right, Argentinian player is not initiating contact. It's not like they're sliding into the opponent or anything of that nature. Ball's gone, he's trying to move around him. Salah falls over.
Salah appeared to lose possession fairly. He was already going down, and the contact on his other foot was minimal. Even Salah and his teammates did not react strongly in the moment, which many fans often view as a sign that the players themselves did not believe a major foul had happened. And here's another question people brought up. If the match was truly decided before kickoff, how did Messi miss the penalty? And was it the referee's fault when Marmoush failed to finish a 4-on-1 counter-attack? Those moments came down to what happened on the pitch, not just the decisions made by the officials. After conceding 3 goals from open play in around 10 minutes, Egypt's collapse became one of the biggest talking points of the match. Instead of focusing only on what happened during that chaotic period, the conversation quickly shifted toward complaints about officiating and claims that the match was unfairly decided. That reaction disappointed some fans who had praised Egypt's performance for most of the game. After playing so well for nearly 80 minutes, many expected the discussion to center around how the team lost control late on, rather than only around controversial decisions. There are also some interesting details surrounding these accusations. After looking into previous comments, some reports have pointed out that Egypt manager Hossam Hassan had previously questioned officiating in another major tournament after a loss, including claims that AFCON favoured Senegal. Critics argued that his view seemed to change depending on whether his team won or lost.
Before last match against Cote d'Ivoire, that is not fair. And because we come here for playing the same field for Senegal, that is not fair.
There have also been past moments involving Hossam Hassan that sparked controversy, including an incident where he appeared to confront a photographer on the pitch, and another moment where he made a gesture associated with reporting racism under football's anti-racism protocols. However, the context and meaning of such gestures can depend on the situation. In this case, videos from the match showed people around him appearing to tell him to calm down, which added even more debate about what had actually happened on the field. That was another moment that raised questions, and there was one more detail that almost nobody seemed to talk about. Zizou, Egypt's player, removed his shirt during the celebration and should have received a yellow card for it. Even though the goal was later ruled out, the laws of the game still apply. Removing your shirt during a celebration is a booking regardless of whether the goal stands. But that moment barely got attention because many discussions online were already focused on a specific storyline. Instead of looking at every decision equally, some people seemed more interested in finding moments that supported the idea they had already decided was true. It's wild how a claim that started as frustration from certain fans after the 2022 World Cup has now turned into a much bigger global debate. Back then, some people argued Messi should have been booked for a handball. However, under the laws of the game, a deliberate handball does not automatically mean a yellow card. A booking is generally only required when the handball stops a promising attack, interrupts a dangerous counterattack, or is used as a tactical move to gain a major advantage. The rule is about the impact of the action, not simply the fact that the ball touched the player's hand. Like, there were people arguing that Argentina didn't deserve their penalty against Egypt while using a clip that actually looked like a clear penalty. That's where the conversation starts getting ridiculous. When people ignore the actual rules and only focus on the moments that fit their argument, the debate stops being about football and turns into something completely different. And here's another question. If FIFA truly had the ability to control every result that easily, why would they only stop at helping Argentina? Why wouldn't they create the biggest possible final, Messi versus Ronaldo, Argentina against Portugal, on the biggest stage in the United States? That would have been the ultimate football spectacle. At some point, the focus has to return to what happens on the special. Instead of constantly trying to rewrite every Argentina victory, people should be able to appreciate the quality of the matches and debate the football itself. The end of the conversation for far too long. If you enjoyed this breakdown, make sure to like the video, subscribe for more football stories, share this with other fans, and let me know your thoughts in the comments. Was Argentina unfairly criticised, or do you think the controversy was justified?